Welcome to the
Pull
gym.
up, pull up, pull up, pull up, everybody.
You know you're live, right? You know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
live,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
All
Salute
right.
everybody. What's going on?
As long as you know, look, Chris is. I guess Chris was getting his James Earl Jones on, or his
Welcome.
who was that singer who had the deep voice? Golly.
Oh yeah. Oh no, no, you had it right the first time with James Earl Jones. Welcome to For My ATL Sports One, featuring Chris Tip Moore
Who
as
is that?
Chris Tip Moore.
Barry
As
White.
Chris Tipmore and T Will discuss today, GM and coaches relationships and mama's boys.
Barry. So yeah, as my esteemed co-host, Mr. James Earl Jones, just said, we are discussing sour relationships between GM and coaches and Mama's boys, and it will become clear why as we get into the show. But welcome to everyone who joined us. Deshaun says, "What up, T. Will and Chris? Geek, get some.
What's
Geek,
good,
get
John?
some. Deshaun, get some. Love it, man. Hey, man. Let's yeah, let's get into it, man. These GMs and coaches.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like, one guy's going left, the other's going right. There's no respect, and
Hmm.
I don't know if you've ever worked with somebody that it was just hard to work with, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely have done that.
I can
Still
think of,
do it.
yeah, man. I can think of some folks that, like, bro, if I never see them again, it'll be all right. Like, that's how adversarial the relate. Like, I think I forget where it might have been. I forget where I was, man, but I thought I saw somebody that used to work with me, so I'm trying to turn around because I did not like them. And you know how you try not to be seen by a person? Of
Hmm.
course, to be seen, right? Of course, everything is going to be magnified, and they're like, "Oh, hey," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah. Right. Right.
oh
Right.
goodness, bro." I don't understand why people detest you while you're in a place, and then when you leave, now they just want to know all about you. Oh, they're just, and I was like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
But
I've had a situation,
yeah,
something like that. I mean, well, honestly, I know what you. Even right now, I work with a guy, and pretty much, you know how you coming from like a leadership role, and then what I'm saying, you're not a you go from one place, you leave one place as a leader, and then you're going over here to help out with this too, and you kind of got to fall back, but you see the errors and the ways of other people. Sometimes you just want to be like, hey man, well, what if we do it like this? Try to make a suggestion. And some people just like be stuck in their ways. They don't want to hear nothing. They good. They just like, hey, yeah, just go ahead and do that and stuff like that. I just got to get quiet and just, what I'm saying, just gonna be like, all right, do things how you want to do it, you know. Even though it's maybe an easier way to do it, or it's a faster way to do it. Sometimes you just gotta let people do them, and what I'm saying, you just collect your check and keep on moving, because like some people can be hard to talk to, get along with. And I believe that it's very important for everybody to find their peace, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're upset or thinking about what you want to do to the person that you're working with. And so yeah, man, it's very important to have relationships. And when it comes to GMs and coaches goes, it's very important because uh one example that we're talking about that kind of like sparked the conversation between me and T Will was the fact of what's going on in Denver. Denver, tell you, at the end of the season, they just let their GM and their coach go. I know early in the season, yes, Taylor Jenkins, he was let go. The GM and the coach, Taylor Jenkins, were not getting along, and you see what happens, man. I mean, I know the thing between Mike Malone and Calvin Booth. I know those two, this decision was happening, what I'm saying, going behind the scenes for months. And from what my understanding is, it was over team building philosophies. What I'm saying, Booth advocated for developing younger talent, and Mike Malone was relying on the veteran players like a Russell Westbrook. Even though they were winning, they, so the GM didn't want to hinder the development of the younger guys. And Mike Malone is like, well, I need veterans that know how to play the game if we're talking about trying to get somewhere. So, of course, they have differences. They're dividing the locker room, negative impact. team morale, performance, everything like that. I mean, it's crazy. Even with all that going on, they still were a top seed in the West and are going to the playoffs right now. But even though they won a championship, their first NBA championship in 2023, you can see if things are not going well between a GM and a head coach, it really doesn't matter the success. Things like this are going to happen. And I don't know, T. Well, I mean, it's just crazy to see this happen like that, man. From a championship team, a team that just won, and you also a couple of seasons, well, a season or so ago, and you also got to add Mike Malone to the list of the guys who won championships in like a season or two. They're gone.
Well, I mean, how crazy is that, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If the Hawks
Mm-hmm.
ever, and I mean ever, and I mean ever, win a championship, that coach probably has free reign for about 8 years. Same with the Falcons. Let me tell you something. If Dan Quinn had won a Super Bowl in 2016, he's still here now.
He possibly. You think he'll still be the coach right now?
Bro, it's been 50 plus years. It's
That's
been
interesting.
50 plus. If Dan Quinn wins a Super Bowl, understand the King Galactus size monkey that's off our backs.
Right.
Understand that gives the ATL legitimacy. Understand
Mm-hmm.
people can't joke with that, especially those darn Saints fans. They can't be like, oh, 2009, because we've arrived. We have it. We got one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think he would still be here. I,
Mm.
bro, I just,
That's an interesting conversation because I
I
mean the
still,
importance of what you're saying. I mean, it makes sense. I guess I'm just thinking about the roster turnover, the coaching turnover, like going through that spell with Desmond Ritter and all that stuff like that. I'm just like, would he want it to stay through all that? I don't know. So the Falcons ready to move into a different direction, maybe get a different voice for the locker room. But I will say this. I know for a fact he doesn't get fired mid-season. Like none of that stuff. He would have got all the way to Black Monday if it was going to come to a point. But I do think it would have extended some time. I do think that. I think a Super Bowl or just a championship period does give a guy some time, especially in the GM department, maybe head coaches in NFL possibly. But you see this, bro. Again, Mike Malone just won head coach. I mean, excuse me, not head coach. He just won an NBA championship,
that's crazy.
and things didn't work out also because dealing with money as well too. People want to get paid. And that it comes down to that. But just getting to my point, you seen things go with Nick Nurse. He won a championship. Then a season or two later, he's gone. With Mike Budenholzer with the Bucks.
You're right.
He won a championship. The next thing you know, he's gone. And he's gone again now in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? He just got fired yesterday on Black Monday. So, it's another thing too. It's crazy that you see these coaches, they're winning championships, and then like a season or two later, they're gone. Like,
Let,
I don't know how to explain that outside of money and relationships.
well, so here's what I don't understand, right? That doesn't make an organization stable. Like
Hmm.
I don't understand that. You really only see that in basketball. Because I
Hmm.
promise you, a coach in the NFL, Sean Payton won a Super Bowl in 2009. When did he leave? When did he leave
Man,
again?
Owens didn't leave until like what, like 2019, was it?
Okay.
2020, somewhere in that area. It was it wasn't. He stayed for a long time, but
Mike
at the
Tomlin
same
won a
time,
Super Bowl in 2008, and he's
right.
still there,
Well,
right?
and it's crazy because what I'm saying, like both of those coaches, even though they haven't won any more Super Bowls, like their team was still in contention for the most part. You know what I'm saying? What Mike Tomlin what his credits are. He makes it to the playoffs every year. And it's so crazy because he hasn't had an elite quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger, and he's still getting there.
No, he's not. No.
So you see stuff like that with the Saints. They had Drew Brees. As long as they had Drew Brees, they had a chance because he
Mm-hmm.
could throw the ball and he can get it to those receivers. It don't matter if it's a Marcus Colston. Didn't matter if it was a Devery Henderson. and it was just like he could get it to him, and they always had a chance as long as they had him throwing the ball. You
You
know,
know what Breeze's nickname was, right?
huh?
Do you know what Drew Brees' nickname was?
What you mean,
His nickname was Breezes.
man? If they don't get
That
this,
should give you an idea of how they viewed the man. I'm simply saying in football and in baseball,
I'm just staring.
just saying. Yeah,
Oh goodness, breezes.
he probably doesn't have to pay for a meal like ever, right? All
Nah. He's loved in the city of New Orleans, and it's to Drew Brees' credit, is it's well warranted. What I'm saying, he deserves everything that he gets from the city of New Orleans and more because he came over there and saved that franchise. Can you just imagine if Drew never goes to the Saints after the Chargers? Who knows what they be, if anything? So,
no, I mean,
um,
I agree
so
with it 100%, man. I'm just saying that it's interesting that in NBA a championship literally means nothing because
mhm,
I don't.
tough.
They're going to be ups and downs, right? Most teams that win the Super Bowl the next year are not great. It's hard to get back. It's hard to win multiple championships. It's hard to build a dynasty.
Especially
Because,
especially in the NFL, man, going back to back nowadays, that's just something you just don't see. I mean, you don't see
because
that in really any sport right
you
now.
know,
About
you know,
going back to back. It's tough. Money plays a part. It's a guy, like for example, you could have a guy, I'm just gonna make up a name. You can have Bill who has a decent season, the year before, then the following year, let's say Bill hits 275 for the season, 40 home runs, driving in over 100 RBIs. Now Bill is like, hey, y'all seen that season I just did, right? Go ahead and pay your boy. So then my thing is you have all those different components going on. This guy needs to be paid. This guy's family need this, so he needs a raise here. You just got other contracts kicking in, and it's just really hard. Injuries, everything. So it's just really hard to go back to back, really hard to put the same team out there that can compete, because you got to remember this too. If you put a same team back out there, teams have film on you and can revert back to that film and be like, okay, this is this guy's weakness. This is this guy's weakness. Let's just put those guys in situations that they are not comfortable in,
yeah,
and that's what happened once before with our Atlanta Hawks. After our 2021 run to the playoffs, we decided to run it back instead of try to improve. All we did was just pay guys. We did not try to improve the team whatsoever. And what happened? We got smacked the next year and smacked back down into reality. So it's got to be situations to where everybody is on point. Everybody is on the same page, fam. I mean, and going back to the Hawks, we talked about this yesterday too. What I'm saying, bro? We talked about that too, about with the Hawks and the whole situation with the DeJounte Murray thing, and how Travis Schlenk and the ownership did not get along, because Travis was like, hey, DeJounte, what I'm saying, good man, but 3 first round picks, I don't think that's a good business move. But what happened? We went and got DeJounte anyway, for
mm,
whatever reason, whether if it was for Trey, whether if Trey said no, pull the trigger anyway, no matter what happened, we traded those 1st round picks. And it ultimately led to the dismissal or the walking away of Travis Schlenk,
mm.
and a lot of people like Travis. A lot of people did. And he's up in Washington now trying to rebuild that franchise now. But that's just another instance to where it can be coach and GM, it can be ownership and GM, certain things like that. And when guys just want to go in one direction, and the other guy wants to go in a different one, it's just hard, bro. That's hard to succeed because you're on two different pages. Y'all in two different novels,
Yeah, I
you
think
know?
the most difficult thing to do in sports is to repeat because there are a
Yeah,
couple of things that had things got to go your way. Like the Braves in 21, their bullpen was lights out. Will Smith pitched better than he ever did in his freaking life.
right,
Matt probably ended his career because I don't think
right.
he'll ever be the same. Matzek was otherworldly. You could argue that Matic should be the MVP for the Braves 21 World Series because if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't big up, like I don't think we win it. So I mean,
Nah, that's right.
you had guys that stepped up in ways that I don't know that you could look to duplicate. Right? You had four outfielders. I mean, Eddie was unbelievable. Jorge Soler was unbelievable. That
Right.
team just got hot at the right time and you couldn't stop them. But it's very hard to duplicate that, which is why you don't see a lot of repeats because things have to break your way, right? Things
Right.
have to break your way. Even in the 21 World Series, Charlie broke his leg, but
Right.
we were able to get performances from other pitchers, and that wasn't the case in 2022. We couldn't overcome that. We couldn't overcome it in 2023. Hell, we couldn't overcome it in 2024. So my
Tough, bro.
my point is, I think some of these GMs have unrealistic expectations, especially when it comes to money and guys
Mm.
leaving and signing elsewhere. We'll move on, but I just wanted to make that point. So let's get to our Hawks, right? We have definitely had some dissension amongst the ranks in our Hawks. Monte Carlo says, A1, what's popping, pimping?
What's
Oh,
good,
man,
family?
say that 5 times. What's
They
popping,
one
pimping?
was popping pimping.
Say
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay. So Danny Ferry brought in booze,
Mm-hmm.
started the Spurs East era, stepped down after a racially insensitive scouting report controversy. Right?
Yeah, man.
Are
Yeah,
you
you
familiar
remember
with
that
that?
was the whole comment about the Luol Dane,
Yep.
and I said at the time that's when Luol was still, I saying a kind of a prime time player,
Right.
and we were trying to figure out about bringing guys in here. I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, yeah, it was some comments that was said by Danny Ferry, and it was on a recorded line type thing, and it was exposed, what I'm saying, and it just got messy. It got real messy after that, what I'm saying, for a brief time, and eventually, yes, Danny Ferry did step down. He stepped down, and that stepping down sounds better than getting fired, so he stepped down to get away from the situation, and after that, shoot, Mike Budenholzer became our coach and GM for multiple seasons,
So
and
can we draw from that maybe Booze and Danny Ferry didn't see eye to eye? Can we make that inference?
I don't know if they really got an opportunity to really fully work together, because you think about it, when we brought Budenholzer in, Danny Ferry was kind of almost already on the way out the door after that, because
Okay.
Budenholzer comes in 2015, well 14, 15, and they probably have what, a few months together, 9 months at the most maybe, and
Mm,
then next thing you know, Danny Ferry was out of here. So I don't even think they really they had conversations, but I don't think they really got a chance to work together. And then, like you see here, from 2015 to 2017, that Bud was doing double duty. Um, yeah, he didn't last long in both roles. I get it, because that's hard though. You think about it, this man is being GM and the head coach at the same time. So it's a lot of decisions that he had to make. It's a lot of power he had. He pretty much was Belichick at that time for the Atlanta Hawks. He had full control.
yeah.
And the first season, it worked out. I mean, I know it kind of came off the building blocks of past Hawks teams, but first season it worked out. We had the most wins we've ever had as a franchise with 60 under
Mm,
Coach Bud. And then the next season it was like 48, and then it was starting to go down. Ultimately, Bud would have still been our coach. But what happened? The Hawks were starting to go in a different direction with a rebuild. And
no. Denny
yeah.
Vinny Dellavedova, whatever he happened, because he killed Kyle Korver's career.
Oh,
He
oh, oh,
ended
oh,
it.
oh, oh,
He
oh, oh,
ended
Delhi.
it. But let's take a step back. Danny Ferry, I'm told that was reported by a member or by an executive.
Yeah,
That's
it really was exposed, I believe, by like multiple sources. Someone within the organization, also, some other sources. It was just, again, that right there was one of those
feel about
situations where it was like, I feel like it was almost a setup. You know, so it almost was like
There you
that's what it kind of felt
there
like
you
because
go. Right.
you know,
And
because
then
Danny Ferry was a basketball mind at the end of the day, and you got to look at it like this too. Outside of, I mean, we have a basketball mind now with Landry Fields, but you got to think about this too. I mean, Danny Ferry was a basketball mind as well. The I feel like the jury is still out on Landry, and I feel like so it's not fair to give Landry like a grade right now.
bro, I'm
But
trying to get back to the mess, bro. I'm trying to look. We talk about GMs and
yeah, yeah,
look.
I know that's why I'm going back.
I think there was a conspiracy to get rid of Danny Ferry, bro. That's what
You,
I'm saying. Because look at
yeah,
it.
I
He's
know it,
there.
bro.
He's
I
there
know
a
it.
couple of months, right? And all of a
Right.
sudden he's gone, and now Mike just steps in and does it. Mike, you don't see the wheels aren't turning there,
Yeah.
Chris.
No, hey
Like,
man.
what's going
Again,
on, man?
again. I just
I
don't
know you
know if
watch
Mike
Mission Impossible. I know
Budenholzer.
you watch spy movies. Come on,
I know, but I
gotta
just don't
see
know if
it.
Mike Budenholzer had anything to do with that.
Well, I
I
mean,
feel,
I don't know either. Well, look,
because it may be ownership. Because remember, at that time, around in that time, what I'm saying, Tony Wrestler and his crew, they bought the Hawks. So it could have been a whole thing to where I'm ready to come in as the owner, as the majority owner. He could come in and say, "Hey, look, I'm about to have some turnover. What I'm saying, so you're in this position, but I want my guys there." You never know. Like you said, spy movies happen, conspiracies happen, the information gets leaked. Because my thing is, there are things that are said all the time behind the scenes, all the time, but they are never leaked like that. You had situation this right here, and then remember the situation in Washington with Schneider. So I'm just saying, like, remember other situation, John Gruden.
Dan Schneider was just okay. Dan
But,
Schneider.
but also think about John Gruden too.
Oh, but
Think
they're both
about that situation as well.
they're both disgusting. They're both because and not that what he said, not that what Danny Ferry said was any better. It wasn't.
Mhm.
But I don't think it rises to the level. Did you see what was in John Gruden's emails? Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
Like it was disgusting. I mean, it was like that dude's probably been to a couple of Klan rallies, man. It was that bad. It was bad, right? Which is interesting, right? Which is interesting because Kirk and some Falcons went to see him,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking to myself, if you were a Falcon, would you go to his house? Like, would you like? I mean, that's that. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what's he gonna? Well, I wasn't talking about you guys. I mean, what's
Right, right.
he gonna say? Some of my best friends are black. I have them over for dinner. Bro, when you get a chance, and I'm not gonna say them on this show because it would be insensitive, but it was incredibly inappropriate, offensive. It was it was degrading. It was demeaning. Okay. It was, I mean, it was bad.
Hmm.
So, and I'm not saying what Danny Ferry did was light. It was light compared to
Yeah.
what John Gruden did. But it's interesting. I don't know that I would have gone. If Kirk had called
Right.
me and says, "Hey, I'm going. Hey, man, I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you when you get back." I don't know that I would have gone. And I don't know.
No,
I think.
that's fair.
Would you go? Would you go?
Mm,
Would you go?
probably not.
So,
I'm pretty sure I could have found something else to do. just
yeah,
just being real, I'm pretty sure.
it was interesting. Who's the other guy you brought up? You said John Gruden and who?
Oh, I was talking about Dan Schneider, so that whole
Yeah,
situation.
Dan Snyder.
Just talking about things just being leaked.
Yeah, he's a
People
slime
say
ball.
stuff all the time. We just
He's a
can't
slime.
see it. It's just not leaked. Yeah, but he's a slime ball.
He's a slime.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
bro. When he walks into a room, plants die. He's just ew. He gives me the
Talking about
same.
when he pull up, the plants already start turning brown.
Yeah,
And
man. He
it's
just
just like it just and the way that he was doing the fans, and the free and the building these renovations, you're not doing that. And the way that you're doing the fans, you're taking their
Oh, wait a
money.
minute. He was doing the church building fund? Is that what he
Bro,
was doing?
bro, I'm talking about those Washington fans went through it with Dan Snyder, okay? They went through it. So it's just like they're
Oh,
so happy that he's gone and they're trying to, saying, improve the team. That's why, they got guys like Magic Johnson a part of like ownership and saying, making little moves behind the scenes. Now they had to get better. They had to get better. You know what I'm saying? So in order to get better, you got to you got to cut the cancer. And that's what they had to do. That's what you have to do. You have to cut cancers in order to possibly get better.
you definitely,
Real
man.
real quick, I want to give examples. I have a couple of examples. I got 5 examples for you, T. Will. 5 examples.
What you got?
My first example of guys in the organization not getting along. My number one smooth groove jam that I have to bring out is Phil Jackson versus Jerry Krause.
Mm,
19 back in the 1990s. You
mm.
remember, saying Michael wanted Phil. Jerry wanted to do things he wanted to do. Oh yeah, definitely must win night for the Hawks, man. I got my Hawk
What up,
shirt on
Mr. Wade?
regardless. Yeah, man, I got my Hawk shirt on regardless. We do have a huge game tonight. And we're gonna talk about that as well. Right now, we just chiming in on coaches and GMs or ownership and GMs or coaches relationships. But we're definitely gonna move into that as well. Like I said, real quick though, like I said, Phil Jackson, he was the coach. You already know he was the driving force of the triangle offense. Michael, Scotty, Dennis, Luke Longley, Steve Kerr, all those guys, just to name a few. And Krause, he wanted to move on from Phil Jackson because he thought Phil Jackson was getting too much credit for putting the Bulls together. And even though he's like, I'm bringing in the pieces and I'm doing this and doing that. And it was like, Jerry was like, hey, what about me? So nobody's saying anything about what I'm doing. And it's like he wanted all the credit. He wanted all the credit. And then what happened? Phil Jackson did not resign after the 97-98 season. I still remember the image of Phil Jackson riding away on his motorcycle when it was all said and done. And it broke.
You're cutting out, Chris. Chris, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Chris. Chris is having audio difficulty. Chris, we can't hear you. You there? You're muted now. You're muted.
All right. Can you hear me or no?
Now we can hear you now. We can hear you now. What up, Dixon Way?
Uh,
What up,
what
Mike?
happened with that?
I don't know. Weird, man. But yeah, no, I
I'm talking about,
definitely.
yeah, that definitely was a womp womp. I don't know what happened just then.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, I was just saying that they broke up the dynasty though. Jerry Krause, he wanted more credit than what he deserved.
Yep.
He wanted pretty much full credit and wanted none to go to the players or the coach, which is a butthole move. And at the end of the day, it was a team that could have possibly won one more championship. So Mike could have possibly had 7. We never know. We never will know now. And we already know that was the end of that. My second example I have for you, this is football now. I had to find some football. Bill Parcells and Robert Kraft.
Mm.
Bill Parcells, Robert Kraft. Eventually, Parcells did leave the Patriots.
The beef is real.
Yeah, man. Next one, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson.
Damn. Into the dynasty. Jerry's ego into the. I tell you, if Jimmy had been there another 4 or 5 years, they probably could have got 2 or 3 more championships. But hey,
That's what I'm saying.
That ego is dangerous, man. That because you know what? It's got to be about the team. You know what I mean? It's got to be about the team. I've won 5 championships in my life. I've won 3 in softball, 2 in flag football. No, 3 in flag football, 2 in softball. And the thing about it is, man, everybody has to embrace their role. You can't be looking for extra credit. You know what I mean? You can't. Hey man, I'm just saying you can't egos kill teams. They do. They really do. Oh, I want this, I
Yeah.
want credit, and it festers from within. There's an old proverb that says if the enemy within is contained, the external enemy will have no chance. And it's true because these people beat themselves. They did, man. They did. Dixon Way, good morning, man. How you doing? Millie Mills, good morning. Mike, good morning.
Yeah, a little housekeeping,
Dixon Way said Barry and Jimmy is the biggest dysfunctional between coach and owner. It is. It really
bro.
is.
It is like that was just so crazy, like because Jimmy was a winner. You know, there are guys like Belichick, like you know, what I'm saying, Bill Parcells, and all those guys who would go have conversations with Jimmy Johnson. It's guys that's right now that would love to have conversations with Jimmy Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand like how you fumble that because since you fumbled that, hey T Will, until you do right by me.
Right by me. Well, that is the personification of that because
Bro,
it doesn't look like
they
they have.
haven't won since. They
Yeah,
haven't won
Pam,
since, bro.
Auntie Pam says good
Hey,
morning.
how you
Take
doing,
Chris, everyone
Auntie
in the chat.
Pam?
Good morning, Auntie Pam. Yeah, man. They look it. I mean, it's ego, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
ego. It's
I
not
got two
every
more for you.
example. What you got?
I got two more for you. Now
What's
I had to find a baseball one. You know, it just wouldn't make any sense.
understood?
Joe Torre versus Brian Cashman
Yeah,
back in 2007.
yeah. I think he burned Joe Torre out. I
Mm-hmm.
think he burned Joe Torre out. You know what I mean? And it's New York, so I get it. But
Remember, they tried to lowball him too. They wanted him to have a performance-based contract.
crazy. That is crazy.
And Joe Torre was like, Are you out of your mind? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I've been doing?" But
Yeah,
they tried to do that because remember the Yankees had started having some playoff exits. It's in a few string of them, like early y'all gone, and then next thing you know, they wanted to come after Joe Torre and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give you a performance-based contract." Joe Torre like, "Y'all ain't finna lowball me." It's
right,
after 12 seasons and
right.
4 World Series titles.
And 6 World Series appearances.
Right. Like, how dare you try me like that? So that was another situation to where the Yankees, they fumbled their skipper, and Joe Torre, and they've been searching since, honestly. And the last one I got, now this one was tough because I couldn't honorable mention before the fifth one, because it was tough between the two. But Chip Kelly versus Howie Roseman.
Oh,
That was a
they hate.
dismal relationship, and that
Yeah,
didn't go anywhere.
the
And
players hated Chip Kelly too.
right. That's what I'm saying. And he was fired by before the end of the 2015 season.
Yeah.
And honestly, you see that they made the better decision because Howie Roseman is still there and they're winning Super Bowls. So, but the fifth one I had, Mr. George Carl versus the GM Messi Uri. And that was in 2013. And the whole story behind that, remember, Coach Carl had just won Coach of the Year. But he didn't like the ownership and the philosophies of what the front office were trying to do as far as like building the team. And remember, they had just won 57 games, but he was fired weeks after winning the award. So that just goes to show you, bro, like you have to be on the same page. As much as people like hate, what I'm saying, what Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris, how they're moving. One thing I can say, I think those brothers are on the same page with whatever they want to do.
They'll either really succeed or they'll both get fired. Either way, they're together.
Either way, they're on the same page, and that's my point.
I don't know. We still together. No, I'm just, hey, look, it's important, man. It's important. Dixon Way says Dan Reeves versus Arthur Blank. Yep.
Hey,
That was a bad
yes,
move, in my opinion, to bring
yes.
Jim Mora Jr. Either it was Mr. Blank or Rich McKay didn't like Dan Reeves. That's true. That's true.
I think it was Rich McKay. I know Arthur Blank. I'm not saying that Arthur is squeaky clean in this, but I do believe it was more so Rich McKay. Because, yeah, man, because I'm still thinking about the draft that we had before we brought in Thomas, the drafts we were having before we brought in Thomas Dimitrov, when Rich McKay was an acting GM at the time. He made bad moves. He made bad moves. And then Thomas Dimitrov come in, then we draft Matt Ryan, and we take off from there. You know, so as far as all the moves that was made by Thomas Dimitrov. Like
Yeah.
I really do not trust Rich McKay. I believe he's an intelligent mind. I believe he's a brilliant mind, but I also believe that he maybe I don't want to say too smart for his own good. I just feel like he just gets in the way a little bit too much. And it's one of those things that has affected the Falcons for years. You know, so years. Because look at the people that we're talking about. Jim Mora Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the people that we're talking about. So it's been a problem for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, look it, man. It's hey, you
And
got
Dan Reeves was a Super Bowl caliber coach, period, point
was,
blank.
he was, but he never won. And I no disrespect to him. I love Dan Reeves because he got us to our first Super Bowl, but he couldn't win it. And
Hey
it is
man,
what it is.
my thing is I would have took a chance on keeping a coach like that with that culture, more so than bringing in a Jim Moore, more so than bringing in a Bobby Petrino.
I mean, well, look, if Vic is there, if that doesn't happen with Vic, with Coach Petrino and Roddy White has said this, they might have gone to the Super Bowl that year.
Never know,
They
and
might.
I guess we never will. But you
We
know,
never will. But I mean, look, things happen. It's unfortunate. Things happen. It is what it is, man. You got to move
that's
forward.
real right here. Rich
Boy,
McKay has been living good off Tony Dungy and Tampa's coaching. That
yeah,
is for
yeah.
darn sure.
He has.
No,
But
and
I
that's
mean,
no disrespect. Nobody's saying anything about that. You know, it's just
yeah.
no disrespect. We're just stating the facts.
No, I
You know,
mean, look, I
stating the
mean,
facts.
you gotta be on the same page, man. But that unfortunately, you work with people long enough, that happens. Because
Mm-hmm.
look at people. Let me tell you something. There are some people that, as long as you are working together, as long as your shine matches theirs, right? As long as your adoration, right? As long as your adornment from fans, people, the public, whoever matches theirs, it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. But you get a little bit more than they do. You start to shine a little bit more than they are. The crowd surges for you a little bit more than they do, and people get uncomfortable with that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they start to get upset now, and then when jealousy sets in, it's a cancer. And a
Yep.
lot of these are just look it. I've always been about winning. I've always been about winning. I've won in every sport that I played. I've won because I'm about winning. I'm not about egos. I'm not about the name on my back. I'm not about being recognized. Look it, I'm gonna go out here and do what I need to do, and when we win, you'll recognize me because I'll be the one with the trophy, right?
The
Yeah,
one
because
with the
that's what I
trophy
do.
in the middle.
I'm not about T Will is great. T Will is I might talk a little trash. I'm gonna do that. But I'm not about self-promotion. I'm not about stats over winning. I'm not about stupid stuff over winning. I'm not about getting penalties over winning. I'm not about getting seen over winning. I'm not about losing pretty. I'm about, you know what I mean? I'm about,
Not pretty.
you know what I mean? That's from dude from White. Was it White Man Can't Jump?
Yeah.
Pretty. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. I mean, it is what it is.
Hey
I'm,
man, I'm trying to go to I'm trying to go to Sizzler as a team, not just as an individual.
bro. I'm
That's
trying to
you know.
win. Look.
Yeah.
My daddy told me a long time ago, son, you play to win. So if I'm gonna come out here to these games, you better get out. You better give it your max effort. If I ever feel like you're not trying to win, I'm yanking you off there myself. So I'm not about these games. It doesn't matter who the fans call because at the end of the day, if you're a good GM, they should call the coach. They should give the coach praise. Why should they give you praise? You're out. You're providing the ingredients, but the coach is the one making it happen. Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way and focus on what's important. Right?
If if Jerry could have stayed out of his own way, Michael Jordan might have had 7.
He probably could have. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this has been the pitfall of many an organization. It really has. I've got a question for you though, Chris.
What's
I
that?
wonder if the Braves have ever had any chaos. You think so? Let's check it out. Let's see.
in the
Oh,
brave
oh,
chaos.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. So there was a yelling incident where apparently John Hart just undressed Brian Snicker. He yelled at him so loud, all of the players heard it. Like all
Hmm,
of the players heard it. And Nick Markakis, you remember Nick Markakis?
I do.
Nick Markakis had something to say about it. He said, I tell you what, it better not happen again. Or I'm going to come and see about you, John Hart. And you know what?
Mhm.
It didn't happen again.
It did
It did
not.
not happen again because
It did not.
was the sheriff in that clubhouse. He didn't play that. That's who kind of got Ronald Acuna Jr. in shape a little bit. Because when Ronnie came on the scene, Nick was there. Nick was like, all right, we're not doing that. Now, some of it, okay, but Nick was the sheriff. Because you got to understand, when the Braves came up, they're
Mhm.
kids, right? So you had to have an adult, and Nick was the adult. Some would argue that Nick kind of helped them get to that stage of being world
Mhm.
champions. I don't think he was on the team, but he
No.
really helped them to grow and mature. But he did not like that
I
with
used
the.
to like Nick Markakis a lot, man, because just for those qualities that you're saying, I used to like it a lot. Nick, what Brian McCann, guys that just no nonsense. Like for me, I feel like I gravitate toward like the older generation because they kind of like embody what I'm about. And that
Right.
means, saying principles, no nonsense. Like I didn't get a chance to meet my grandfather, but I've heard so much about him and how he was just no nonsense, like it was nothing. And I really like cater myself to try to be like that. And that's why I also like kind of resonate with older crowds because it's just like, yeah, you're not going to get away with that. So you may be like, oh, turn the other cheek and it's petty, let it go. It just, certain things just have to be handled because of principle.
I knew you were
You
gonna.
know,
I knew you were gonna say that.
for
There
real,
was
bro.
a tremor in the force when you. I was like, he's gonna say because of the principle, because you. That's who you are, man. And you know what?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. They say strong men live by strong principles. So you are 100% right, man. But look at it's the Braves. Pretty much have been a very good organization. There was that time with John Hart. There was the thing with Copy where they were cheating with the international players. And of course, there was Frank Wren. And I don't think Frank Wren was well liked in that building. Plus, he signed BJ Upton and Dan Uggla. Jeez, bad moves. So, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, you had Jesus, what, 16 years of Bobby. You've had about what 7, 8 years of Snit. I mean, Braves fans are spoiled. Yes, we only have 2 world championships, but you've basically been in the playoffs every year, even last year, right? And why? Because of the cohesive relationship between GM and manager. I think that Anthopoulos and Snit work very well together, and you can see it.
Yeah,
They support each
you
other. You
do.
know what I mean? And you have to have that. You got to have that. We got to do some housekeeping. Dixon Way says, "What if the owner wants to play GM, or if the owner bought the team for his kid's hobby?"
Yeah,
Hey, all
I
you got to
just
do is
told
look
him
at Derek
I
Jones.
just I just told him I said, that sounds very familiar, Dixon Way.
Derek
Sounds
Jones.
like sounds like a basketball team that I know that plays today. But I don't want a team that will remain
You talking about
nameless.
the Hawks when his kid had the idea to who did his kid suggest we trade? Herder? Was it Herder?
Man, I
It
mean,
was.
man, shoot, the kids were suggesting to bring in DeJounte. That was another thing as well too.
Oh
It's just
wow.
like,
Oh wow. Yeah.
bro, like, Travis Schlenk tried his hardest not to have this trade happen. 3 first rounders for DeJounte. I love DeJounte Murray. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think he's a good person overall, and I think his dad is cool. I follow his dad on Twitter and everything like that. His dad is real cool and everything as well too. So I don't have any gripes with DeJounte Murray. It just didn't work out. That's it. Things don't work out. It doesn't mean you got to hate the person. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it should have never been made. I think the trade should have never been made, or if it was, not for 3 first rounders,
Definitely.
because now I'm saying we're kind of trying to recoup it a little bit. Luckily, I'm saying Landry did make the trade to send DeJounte off and to bring in guys to help bring in the foundation. So hopefully we're going to be headed in the right direction as soon as we get healthy.
I think we are. I think we are. Number one, I think when JJ comes back, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We got
Now,
to.
got the mealy mouth little bastard.
And that's where I'm going. Jerry Krause, that mealy mouthful MFer, was too arrogant with the bad case of the Napoleon complex. Wow.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Monty.
No. Mike says, fellas, what up, Mike?
That's good,
Carlos
Mike.
says, and he looked like the Penguin. Shout out to Colin Farrell. And yeah, I've heard Colin Farrell's performed really well in that. AKA the YRs.
The rascals.
In the blanks. Let's see who it is. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm not touching that one. A1 Forever. That sounds familiar. Dicks away. Okay. Auntie Pam, that was my favorite player. Nick, demand respect. You do not want to overstep your boundaries. Yeah, Nick did. Nick, I tell you what, man. Nick coming to a room, it gets quiet. Whatever nonsense is going on, it stops, man. It stops.
Almost like he walks in and just looks around.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nick is not about that life, bro. He is not about that nonsense at all. He is not real. He is not. He is not about
just saying something else real, but the mid-2000s were dark times for the Braves.
They were, because look, nothing good lasts forever. Nothing good lasts forever. I get it.
That's true. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm hoping that we never. Well, excuse me. I mean, you can't ever say it. You can't ever say never. But I hope for a long time we don't have any more dark times like those mid-2000s.
I think we're good until 2028, but I don't see the Braves re-signing Acuna because, bro, if Soto got $800 million, I got a headache thinking of like, I got a headache thinking what Acuna's gonna get. Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, Soto never won an MVP. Am I correct?
I don't think he did. No.
Yeah. I don't. So I mean that right there, just that alone, being the most valuable player of the entire league is such a huge talking point.
Yeah, man.
If I'm walking in like this. Yeah, former MVP walking in. What y'all got going on?
Yeah.
So it's just that's always going to be a talking point because he did achieve that. He had the 40-70 season, as well going along with that. Ronald was Ronald. I'm saying? I love Ronald Acuna Jr. Definitely one of my favorite. I love all my Braves players, but he's definitely, one of my high ranking and high regard, so how I feel about him.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player. I think when he's healthy, he's untouchable.
Oh,
I think there's nobody better than Ronald Acuna Jr. when Ronald is healthy.
Yeah, he's definitely untouchable, man. No doubt about that. Well, guess what, man? It's time for some trivia. Are you ready for some trivia, Chris?
All right, what you got?
Auntie Pam says AA had no choice to work with Liberty Media. They do not spend money, and you're right, Auntie Pam. King Richie says Bobby Cox demanded respect as well. What up, King?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get to some trivia. Darn it! All right, this R&B trivia group came out with a song in 1986 about gossip. It was performed by the Timex Social Club. What was the name of the song?
I'm about to say, boy, I definitely wouldn't know. In 1986, I wouldn't even thought of yet. What y'all got for me, chat? Help me out, chat. Y'all help me out. Auntie Pam, help me out. I know you know. Come on now, stop playing.
Some of you folks,
listen. Auntie Pam still listening to R&B right now. Come on now.
Some of you folks that were alive like me, go ahead and chime in. It was by the Timex Social Club. I know it. I just want somebody to guess it.
Let me see.
Came out.
Let me see. All right. So it's the song.
Gossip. It's about gossip.
I was my crazy butt was about to say, look at all these rumors.
That's it.
Really? It. Are you kidding?
You got it. You got it. You got it. Rumors.
Are you kidding me right now?
Timex Social Club. You got it. Look at all these rumors. Yep. You got it. You got it.
Yo, talk about first time luck.
You got it. Oh, look at Deshaun's late ass. Deshaun, you should have guessed that. Boy, you about as old as me. You should have been guessed that. What are you doing? Rumors. What are you doing?
Hey, I swear I took a stab in the dark. I'm talking about with my hand over my eye.
It was from the other side of the court. You just threw it up there and it went in. It's
Hey,
beautiful.
all I'm saying is I'm celebrating with the team right now and running around looking crazy. I'm looking like Marlon Wayans in the sixth man after they won the championship.
Yep. 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 Exactly. Hey, great guess. And speaking of rumors, wait a minute. You see what I did there, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of rumors,
I see what you nice segue. I
see
see what you
what I
did
did
there, man.
there, right?
Yeah, man.
Segue.
You real
Yeah.
slick.
Holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. There's a nasty rumor going around that Kyle Pitts was traded to the New England Patriots, and it came out Sunday, which is insane because it never happened, right?
Yeah,
So,
that was crazy.
yeah,
Top of some source article not trustworthy. It really wasn't. It was crazy because it was saying that the trade had already happened. It wasn't saying that it was a possibility or anything. It just said the Falcons have traded Kyle Pitts to the New England Patriots. And I was just like, no, they haven't. We definitely would have heard that news. I'm talking about like all these trusted content creators and all these trusted sources, like really trusted sources for the city of Atlanta, and we don't hear nothing like that.
bro,
So come on now, like nah,
crazy. That's crazy
nah.
town, bro. That is
Now I will say this: I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I just don't think it's going to happen
I
because
mean,
how it
it
laid
could
out
definitely happen. It could
right. How it was
definitely
laid out because how it was laid out was like that offense. They got Stephon Diggs, they got a lot of unproven guys up there. Kyle Pitts possibly can go up there play tight end for them, and it could be like Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts being like the 1 and 2 up there, along with bringing on guys like Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, guys like that. So I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but I don't see it happening. Michael Penix's voice gotta mean something.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out with Kyle Pitts. They've been trying to get closer. He's already said, I can use Kyle Pitts. I believe in Kyle Pitts. I just believe that even though that he is somewhat of a rookie, he's still your field general. You don't think Jayden Daniels has a voice? You don't think Drake May has a voice? So why couldn't Michael Penix has a voice and say, hey, look, I understand he's been underwhelming, but I'm here now. So I can possibly unlock Kyle Pitts, but I can't unlock anybody if I don't get at least one season to be able to do that fully. And yeah, what's up, Kerry? How you doing? And
Miss
everything. But
Carey,
yeah,
Carey said, I've not heard that rumor, T. Will. Well, guess
Kerry
what, Miss
been MIA for a few days, man.
Hey man, hey, you gotta do that, man. Sometimes you gotta get away. Chill,
Get
Chris.
away.
Sometimes you gotta get away.
No, man, we're in this until Kirk Cousins is gone. We're everydayers, baby.
You
We're
had to go
everydayers.
and say it. We were why? Why, Chris? Why? You had to go and say it. Why?
Because it's been days. It's been days. We've been
And you're
doing
the
too
one to bring
well. We
it
gotta
back
bring
up.
some chaos.
You're the guy to bring it back up. Jeez, man. Hey, check it. So this is for Carrie because she was like, I hadn't heard that, T. Will. From the Twitch Sports Network. No, I don't know if it's TWSN. I'm kidding.
I don't know what
Kyle
the T
Pitts,
stands.
right, exactly. Who? Kyle Pitts traded to the New England Patriots, and it was an outright lie, or at least it was when I initially read it. They could have gone back and edited it, but it said it actually. Wait, did they
You
take
see
it
what I'm
down?
saying? Trade it. That's past tense, like it already happened. That's clickbait.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I think they took it down because I don't see anything. Oh no, it's here.
No, I say it's still there. No, them folks stick their chests out with pride with this one.
Reports indicate that the Patriots have traded for tight end Kyle Pitts. Now, this was an outright lie. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And again, I'm not ripping them, but it was not true because Kyle Pitts has not been traded. I like Chris went to Google to verify, and nobody else was talking about it. So it has
I
not
went
happened.
straight to Twitter. When after I seen it, I went straight to Twitter because I said again, if none of the trusted sources from the Atlanta Falcons organization, if you're not hearing it from Torrey McElhaney, Daniel Flick, anybody from the Falconholic, just guys that just revolve around this team. Come on now, we would have been talking about that. Shoot, even Myles Garrett, shout out to him, Fox 5, even would have probably retweeted that or posted that. Man, it would have been all over Twitter. Twitter would have been blowing up.
Yeah.
and us as content creators, we'd have been blowing up YouTube right now.
Yeah, condolences to Miles. He recently lost his grandfather, so condolences.
No.
Yeah,
oh, condolences to Miles for real, man. Thoughts and prayers going out to you and your family, brother.
Definitely. So, with
I got
that
a question.
Now that we,
I think, yeah, I was about to say, I think you about to, you was about to do it anyway. See, that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Wavelength brothers right there, man. You already moving on.
Hey, y'all, we got the hot topic of the day. I mean, Chris, it's so hot, I don't even want to touch it, man. It's like hot, right?
It's a touchy situation, honestly.
It's hot, bro. It's so hot, right? It is so hot, bro. You ready to get into it? Are you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. So, Jayden Daniels' mom is, shall we say, not about that life when it comes to potential love interests for Jayden. Wait, Carrie says, sorry, T. Will. I should have said I haven't verified. I haven't heard the Cowboys straight rumor from a verified source. Oh, Carrie, ain't nobody tripping. I'm messing. Carrie, you're good. You are good today, good tomorrow, good yesterday, and we love you. You ain't got to worry about that.
Yes.
All right. So what we're asking, what Chris and I are asking is, how far is too far for somebody's mom, right? So where is the point of demarcation? Where do you draw the line between protective mom and overbearing mom? And Chris and I had would you call it a very granular, detailed discussion about this last night, Chris?
Yeah. I think that's a good one right there.
I would say we did. So to those of you who don't know, Jayden Daniels' mom was criticizing for separating women's hoop star, what's her name? Juju
Watkins.
Juju Watkins from her son, Jayden Daniels. In other words, she said, no, you're not going to be dating my baby. No, you're not.
But she ain't playing the radio with no female, though. She just straight up and down. She had an interview where she was sitting down and someone asked her, hey, what are you worried about the most when it comes to your son? And she said, women. She said, I am worried more so about women. Ain't nobody fit to make people have their eye on people, and no one is going to make my son a baby daddy. You know, nobody's going to leech off of my son. I trust no woman out here. That didn't come from me. That came from Jayden Daniels' mom. And we've seen examples. We've seen Juju and Jayden smiling, kikiing, laughing it up. Next thing you know, you see his mom come and separate them, sit right in between them, and Juju looks so uncomfortable.
That was so
she
funny.
Yes, it was hilarious. What are you talking about? I found it hilarious because she was so uncomfortable because it was like, okay, we were vibing and everything like that, and then your mom comes and sit right between us. Now, Juju, I don't think Juju is a hussy. I think Juju got something going on for herself.
Hussy?
Yeah. I pulled that one out for you, T. Will. I pulled that one out for you. I pulled that one out for you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you just refer to someone as a brazen hussy?
She's not.
She's not.
Wow. Man, Juju got a career. Wow. Juju got her own money. Juju got her head on straight.
I have not heard hussy in a while. It's been
I had to pull it out. Had to pull it out one time.
You had to blow the cover off that.
Oh no, I ain't gonna lie. It was cobwebs and dust all over that one. You better believe it.
Let me put it down. Okay, so she is not a promiscuous woman, is what you're saying. She's not. Wait, what do the young folks say? She's not for the streets. That's what the young folks say, right?
Yeah.
She's not for the. You almost sounded disappointed that I used like like I would have rather gone with Huzzy. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, the argument is Jayden Daniels' mom going too far? Because everywhere you see Jayden, you see his mom. Now whether Now, whether you care about it or not, I'm wondering about building relationships. Because if mom is here, is he able to really build a relationship with a woman? Is he able to become friends with a woman? Because I believe that it's cool to be friends with a woman before you just like jump into things, you know what I'm saying? Like, see how y'all vibe and all this stuff like that too. And even with that, it is a chance that y'all can be vibing for months and it still not work out. You know, some experiences is like the best teacher and everything like that too. But it doesn't mean that y'all can like have any like beef with one another or say, hey, you know, some people been wasting time and stuff like that because things just don't work out. You know, so or things just, you know, sound better as friends. But my point where I want to get back to is, guys, like, when is it too much? When is enough enough? Like, when would he be like? And the reason why this is such an interesting conversation, because I love my mom. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a mama's boy. Yeah. T Will, you know what I'm saying? God rest his mom's soul. And I know T Will is one as well. So we definitely want to have this conversation as two men that love their mom deeply. When will it be too much? Like, T Will, if your mom was doing something like this, would you let her? Would you have said, hey mom, you know what I'm saying, you know, take a chill pill, like Deshaun saying in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Just like, when would it be too much?
One thing about my hey, mama let me get away with bloody murder. So I mean, my mom was probably the opposite, right? Like, I could have, look, I could entertain girls in my room, and I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not, fix your dirty minds, people. I'm just saying, like, I could, you know, if I had a girl over, my mom would trust me to have her in my room. It was never a big deal. Like, she would never pull that move that his mom did. But the other side of that, Chris, is there are women out there who do have agendas. You better believe it. How much is this contract? And the next one's gonna be at least 70 million, bro. You better believe there are women out there in every state lining up, getting ready. They're gonna be at his hotel. There are some women who they have nefarious intentions. They are trying to take advantage. So I understand the sentiment. Plus, I have 3 kids, right? Some of my kids are more savvy in certain areas than others. She knows her son. And I'm not saying he's gullible, but I'm gonna be honest.
You're not saying that he's not either. You're saying there's got to be something there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm glad I'm married. I'm glad I'm not single out here with all of these, you know, body modifications and all of this other stuff out here. And you out here just trying to go to your hotel, and bruh, you come, man, bruh. Like, some of these women, I'm glad I'm not in the life. I'm glad I'm not. The good book says pray not to be tempted, right? I'm glad I'm not in that scenario. But if I were a single man now in my 20s and I'm making that kind of money, Lord Jesus, I can only imagine, right? So it's not like he's like the third string kicker, right? He is the quarterback. He is a star. He is an upcoming star in the NFL. Panties are raining from heaven. And I mean, no offense to anybody out there. I'm not misogynistic at all. But sometimes you just got to keep it real. Panties are being thrown at him from every direction. This man can't go anywhere.
And moms ain't doing nothing but smacking them things away like Jackie Chan Adventures.
Bam. Because, hey, she knows her son. And maybe he is. Let me tell you something. Just like men lie, women lie. And women are better liars in a relationship than men, because when a man lies in a relationship, a man will change his pattern, right? If he's cheating, a man will literally be home 3 hours late, 5 days in a row, if the offer is there, because men are primal. And so if there's an opportunity, they're just going to lie. A woman, if she's going to do it, she's going to plan it. All of her friends are going to be in on the lie. Everybody's going to know their part, and she's not going to break her pattern. So if she goes to get her hair done on Wednesday, that's when she's going to go to do the on Wednesday. And I know, never mind how I know. But anyway, you know, back in the day, I wasn't always, you know, I'm just saying, you know, hey, back in the day, man, you know, young single T Will, college, hey man, I was about that life. So I've seen plenty of, I've seen it both ways, right? I've seen, you know, I've seen women line relationships and men, and all I'm saying is there are some very gifted young ladies out here who can craft a story and have somebody believing that up is down. Have, I mean, look at all you got to do, and I mean no disrespect, but look at Travis Hunter. That is a car wreck waiting to happen. That is
I
if
pray for him.
he doesn't know. I pray for him because he literally doesn't know. He literally does not know. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He literally thinks that this girl loves him. And the problem with this is I don't believe anything people say. I watch what they do.
Dude.
You get what I'm saying? Like if you out to 2 o'clock every morning, but you coming in telling me you love me, I'm good. I'm good. Because your actions say different, right? Your actions, if you're disrespecting me, if you're doing certain things with dudes out here and you know I'm in the public eye, you ain't got to tell me you don't respect me. I can see it, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, again, the right girl can. Hey, look it. I'm trying to stay above board, but the right girl can get in his head, and you know, again, they can. So my point is, I see the sentiment. Is it overbearing? Absolutely, absolutely, it's overbearing. I mean, you sit in between. Like, first off, why do that in public? Couldn't you just have a conversation with him? But I guess she was making a point not only to Juju, but she was making that was a photo op, right?
That was a point to the world that I'm not playing about what I said. I don't trust no woman. Like that's what the lady said. She don't trust no woman. So it doesn't matter who you are, whether if you're Juju, whether my thing is you could have been a Michelle Obama sitting next to him, and his mom would come in between and be like, Michelle, what you think you doing? You know, I'm just saying, like being real. The lady said, I can respect it because she said she doesn't trust anybody with her son. And I feel like she's, staying true to her word. But yes, it is overbearing. I'm not gonna lie, I love my mom. But if I'm feeling somebody for real, to the point, or if I'm trying to get to know somebody, I'm not even gonna say feeling somebody. If I'm trying to get to know somebody and you just keep coming around, sitting between us, all that stuff like that, because it's got to be a choice as well. Because like from his point of view, when are you going to be able to say, hey mom, like I actually do want to get to know this one. I understand your place and I appreciate you. I love you for everything that you're doing for me, but I don't know, I'm starting to feel away, and I would like to at least start a friendship with this person. Not saying that we got to get in a relationship today, tomorrow, next week, but I would like to build something, and let's see what happens in a year from now. Let's see what happens from 2 years from now, because I am in the public eye. I am the quarterback of the Washington Commanders, and I also believe that a guy like that doesn't need to really like just rush, especially when he has his mom down his back anyway. He's not going to be able to rush. So it's going to be, but I think he needs to be able to build relationships. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that with moms just, handcuffed to him. Like, look at this picture. Look at the picture below Juju. Like, that right there is them all the time. Yeah. The man was at Brandon Ayuk's wedding just recently, and they were like this. Like Jayden, he dancing, he doing his thing. Mama right there. She not playing, bro.
She's not playing. But you know what? Let's see what the chat has to say about it. So Carlos says his mom is a nuisance and making this about herself, especially being on the sideline in that skirt. I mean, she fine as all outside, but go sit in the corner. King Richie says that's her job. He needs to focus on football, and that's it. Carlos says he should have had the game in his brain if she was really concerned. King Richie says she knows they will bleep
up the bag,
not going, and that's true. And that because let me tell you something. Most football players do not play for 10 years. Most football players don't play for 3. Right now. I don't think that'll be the case with him, but you gotta at least think about that. you got to consider that. You got to think about, well, this may not last. So you know what I mean? I get the sentiment. Deshaun says, take a chill pill, mom.
Chill pill.
Carlos says she got to run off that right one because a real one ain't gonna put up with him being weak and not taking control of his.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Carlo is 100% correct. At the end of the day, there are a lot of respectful women out here. Okay, a lot of respectful women, but when it comes to trying to get serious and being intentional, it's not going to be a lot of people that's going to want to stay around. Like I know women right now that's like, hey, if I can't get along with your mom, it's not going to work with me anyway.
Right.
And I can totally respect that because some moms just not going to like people. And regardless, I know for me, I don't want to be in a situation to where somebody's mom or somebody's dad don't like me and I'm still trying to be with the person. It's just stressful. I've been in a situation like that before. And that is stressful because it's just like, you don't want to go around them at all because you don't feel the love. You feel being tolerated instead of actually appreciated.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's a tough situation. So I don't expect anybody to stick around. You can try it out to see how it works because it may work for you. But I don't think anybody would want to stay in a situation to where like Carlo is saying, you know what I'm saying, being weak and not taking control of the life. Not calling Jayden Daniels weak, not calling him weak at all. Just saying as far as the weak-ish, you know what I'm saying, like the way it's presented is almost like you don't have control of your own life or your own mind. So I get what Carlo is saying.
The other thing is we don't know her background, right?
Facts. We don't. It's a lot we don't know. We're just all this whole conversation is just assumptions and just questions about, do you think it's enough? Do you think it's too much? You know, stuff like that. We don't know these people. We don't know what's in their life. We don't know Jayden Daniels. For all we know, Jayden Daniels and his teams, he could have been a wild boy, and mama didn't like that. So maybe he could have been a situation where I'm going to have your back because I don't like the decisions that you're making, son. We don't know.
We don't know. And the other side of that is, I used to watch a show called The Game. It was a
the football show.
Yeah, football show. Yeah. And there's a character in there called Jason Pitts, and Jason Pitts' father played football, but he basically threw away all of his money. So Jason was just about the cheapest so-and-so that you would imagine. Like, he put his wife through so much, like he would make them refried beans, like he was cheap, right? But it was because deep down inside, he was afraid of going broke because he saw that happen with his dad. And he never wanted to experience that. And he probably should have gotten therapy, but his response was to go to the other side of the pendulum. We don't know what happened with her, right? We don't know what she's experienced. We don't know. The only thing we do know is, I mean, I can see both sides. Yes, she is overbearing, but let me tell you something. There are so many NFL players that get got
all day long.
Was the lady that was like,
look at Isaiah, what's my man from the Chiefs who just got picked up? Xavier Worthy. Look what he going through right now with that chick. And she cheated on him. And he the fastest man in the league.
Yeah.
And she cheated on him and he trying to get her gone. And then she put her hands on him, ripping out dreads and all this other dumb mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the situation.
Chris, there's another one that she put it out there. Like, she put it out there that her entire intention was to trap him and get his money. And I forget the name of her. You can think of her in the chat. But it was a whole story on her. And she's done this to multiple guys, not just one. She's done this to multiple people. And she was talking about how the modern athlete is so dumb. I cannot think of her name. There was an article. But what I'm saying is there are unscrupulous, nefarious characters out there who will take advantage of you, right? Hey, somebody have a baby for you and you're living a certain lifestyle. You got to deal with that for 18 years. 18 years. And on his 18th birthday, he found out it wasn't his. We won't prenup. We won't. I'm just saying. So I can understand.
Something that you need to have when you leave your ass. You're going to leave it have. Kanye, man. Classic Kanye.
Hey, and he was right. Auntie Pam says, I have a son. I trust my son in picking the right girl. My son is tight with his money. If they're not tight with their funds, they will not be with my son, point blank. I love
And,
it.
hey, and that sounds like principle right there. Hey, you know, I'm not going to be out here just you know what I'm saying, balling out, just balling until I fall, all that stuff like that. We got to have some kind of, yes, that's who it was, Brittany Renner.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the last name. I remember Brittany, but yeah, Brittany Renner. She was a guy. Excuse me, she was a guy. And she is not a guy. But the thing about it is, like, I know she's like changed her tune nowadays too, as far as like how she feels and different things. She's trying to like give her life to God and all that stuff like that. Now, something I had heard about. But anyway, like Brittany Renner was somebody that did go around different athletes. I mean, shoot, she got a baby out of PJ Walker. I mean, no, PJ Washington, Washington, and everything. And yeah, so I mean, that's somebody that is taking care of her for the rest of her life, taking care of that child and whatnot. And then, but yeah, she also, I remember Deion Sanders brought her in to talk to young athletes about girls like her. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it is, to your point, T. Will, there are plenty leeches out here. There are plenty of foot draggers out here.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, like his mom just trying to make sure he doesn't get got by one of these leeches. Like she wants him to have a great woman. And I understand that. It's just, I think it's just got to be levels, and I think it's got to be moderation. Just like everything. They say you can have anything as long as it's moderation. But
let me tell you something. If my wife leaves me tomorrow, she can take whatever she wants because she deserved it. She deserves it because she's been in here with me for 32 years, day in and day out. She freaking deserves it. If I won $50 million tomorrow, I'm giving her 30 because she deserves it. She's been that committed. She's been there for me. We've been through it. I love her. I trust her. I know she got my back. She's the eyes behind my head that where I can't see. She's everything. So, but she's earned that. You get what I'm saying? She's earned that. She's earned that through years and years of adversity, years and years of ups and downs. She's earned that. She's well worth that. My wife is priceless because you know what? At the end of the day, I can be myself with her. At the end of the day, I can say whatever I need to say, and I don't have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I can be T. Will. You get what I'm saying? And that's important. If you can't be friends, it's not going to last because newsflash, people, you ain't going to look how you look while you're young and sexy when you get old. You're just not. Father Time often is cruel. You might gain a little weight. You might get a few gray hairs. You might get some wrinkles. You're not going to look that way always, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe with surgery, but the bottom line is
that's why people get surgery, because they're trying to keep up an appearance.
They are, but you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. That's a sad existence when you imagine if you had millions, Chris, but you don't know because
but I don't like myself.
Well, no. It's not that. It's not that you change. The people around you change because of the money that you have, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, it's a sad existence to live when you don't know if somebody's into you for you or they're into you because of your money, because they know who you are. Understand, they know who you are, right? Lowe said in an interview, on a show, we were together, Big Lowe. He says, well, Terry, you're a public figure now. And I just laughed. I laughed because I'm like, I mean, okay, whatever. Lowe is a public figure, right? Mm-hmm. But I cannot imagine being a quarterback of an NFL team and everybody knowing my name. And everywhere I turn, there are women who know me. They know what I got. My salary's public. They know what I'm going to get. And they're already counting my dollars. And it's got very difficult dating because you have to go into it thinking, okay, how do you trust this person? Right? How do you trust this person? Because she knows who you are. She knows what you have. It's not fair. You don't know if they want you for you or if they want you for your money. And the problem with this is, and look into this, when a lot of NFL players leave the league, they get divorced. Why?
Yeah.
They can't afford that lifestyle anymore. And the women weren't in it for them anyway. They were in it for money. Right? Because You sign an NFL contract today and you're a running back, you might not make it 5 years. So you can't do what everybody does with your $5-10 million because again, what 10% of that has to go to the agent. What 50% goes to taxes. So 10% after all of that is more like what 3?
Man.
500,000 on a Phantom. I mean,
I'm just saying.
So
get your Dennis Schroeder on.
Right. So you gotta look at it. You have to look at it. It's not easy. That's what I'm saying. Like to those of you who are judging her, it is not easy, right? It's different if you dated somebody. You know, if I get $30 million tomorrow, my wife has been with me for 32 years when I didn't have shit. So I got no problem giving her anything she wants. She can have it.
That's what it's all about.
She want to take
one another
40 million and leave with me 10. It's okay because she's earned it. Because she's been that good for me. My wife wiped my mother's behind when she could. My mom didn't want me changing her. So my wife and my daughter would change her. And I don't know a whole lot of folks that would do that. And let me tell you something. When you're taking care of somebody that can't take care of themselves, that's not glamorous work. I did it for my dad. It's not easy, right? My wife earned whatever she wants. And it doesn't matter when it is. Whatever she wants, she's got it because she's earned that. But that's earned, right? There are a lot of these sack chasers out here.
It's a lot of women that think on the first day they're supposed to have everything.
Oh, there you go.
Like it's crazy. I've met women on the first day, and within the first week, I'm already being asked to pay their rent, and I'm just like, you're out of your mind. I'm just not going to do that. I'm a principled guy, and one thing about it is I'm not desperate for anything. I'm not thirsty for anything. Everything that I want, I've already experienced. So it's just like, at the end of the day, you know, I said it's all about having general relationships, having genuine people in your corner. And like you said, you know, I said having a wife or having just somebody, a companion that'll be there for you through thick and thin, do things for you that they didn't normally have to do. They didn't, because again, your wife didn't have to do that.
No.
But she did that, you know what I'm saying, because she loves you and she knows you love your mom.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. That was that was the end all and be all for her right there.
Yeah. That was the hardest time in my life. That was the seeing my mom going through that. There's nothing I can do about it. And I mean, you know, there was one time where my mom had a BM and she was so embarrassed. She was embarrassed. You know what I mean? And I was like, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. But my wife and my daughter, they were just great with it. The way they treated my mom, I will forever love them. And I can't thank them enough. And that means more to me than money. So, you know, again, advice to the fellas out there and ladies, marry your best friend.
Yes.
You can help it. Marry your best friend, because my wife and I got to know each other, but we are friends. We've gone through some ups and downs. There's some days we didn't like each other. Look, every year ain't gonna be great. You know, every day isn't gonna be great, but we are friends. And at the end of the day, we can talk to it. I mean, we can talk to each other. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, we can talk to each other. There's a saying that says, friends can be lovers, but lovers cannot always be friends. And it's true, right? My wife knows who I am at the core. We don't agree on everything. I know who
You're not going to.
I know who she is at the core. But at the end of the day, we can talk about it. We can work through stuff, man. There's superficial stuff that's going on right now. Oh, I love her because she got this and she got that. She ain't gonna look like that forever, bro. She's not, and you're not gonna look like that forever. And what if you get sick, right? Marriage is not about being happy. Marriage is an agreement. It's a covenant with you, your mate, and God. And it is not easy. But at the end of the day, you choose to love a person. You choose to love a person every day, because that contract is not just between you and her, it's between you, her, and God. And all I'm saying is these young folks got it wrong. But my point, and let me come back to it because I got on a tangent. The bottom line is Jayden is incredibly young. What's he, 22? Yeah. He's 22.
Like,
He
I
didn't know
think
anything.
23, 24, man. Like somewhere in that area, 22,
Right.
something like that. Yeah. He's young though.
If he's a sheltered kid, some woman could come along and turn him out.
Mm-hmm.
Look here, I've seen a lot in my 54 years. I've seen men come and go. I've seen women get turned out. I've seen, and when I say that, I mean, somebody that's sheltered, they get with this person who's out there and wild, and they
Right.
can handle it, right?
Yep.
And they fall in love not only with the person, but the way they make them feel, not realizing that this is a part of who this person is. And there's going to come a day when this person gets bored, and now they're going to treat you like whatever because they never loved you. You get what I'm saying? There is a difference between love and lust. Some people are in love with being in love. They don't love you. They just want to be in love with somebody, right?
Somebody, anybody.
If you ever got one of those friends that everybody they deal with, they in love. No, you ain't in love with nobody.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I have no friends like that, and I don't want any.
If
I
you
ain't gonna lie.
that's like everybody's beautiful, every woman. Now, if everybody's beautiful, nobody's beautiful. You get what I'm saying? If everybody they meet is beautiful, no, nobody's beautiful. You just want to be with somebody. You just and it doesn't matter. You'll find something to love about this person, but that's not love. That is it's not. It might be attraction, it might be infatuation. That's not love. And the whole point, young people, and I'm talking to y'all now. You talking with Uncle T. Will. The whole point is find somebody that's going to make you a better person. Find somebody that when you walk into a room, they light up. And when they walk into a room, you light up. Find somebody that when you're together, y'all speak your own language. Nothing has to be said because it's understood. Find somebody that's going to love you at your worst and motivate you to be your best. All that other stuff will come. Money and status, it will come in time. But if you got a list and you're looking for somebody with all of these credentials, they may have the credentials, but they may not be a good person. Because here's where people make their mistake, and I'm gonna close with this. I can meet somebody and we can be at the same point in time and we can fall in love. But if we're not moving in the same direction, right? If I'm going this way and she's going that way, in about 10 years, we're not even going to know who each other is. Why? Because we were never moving in the same direction anyway. What do I mean? Well, if I like to save money and she like to spend money, that's a problem. If I like to go to church and she don't go to church, that's a problem. If I like to go to work and she like to smoke crack, that's a problem. It is very important when you choose a mate that you find someone with similar belief systems. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you there, right? You can say all this other stuff, oh, we can overcome it. It is very difficult to overcome.
Yes, some things are.
Right? It is very difficult to overcome. You need to ask about holidays. You need to ask about family. You need to get to know her family. She needs to get to know yours. Because however the mother is, 9 times out of 10, that's how she's going to be. So if you're looking at her mom,
hey, dang, that's so crazy. Like, I mean, that's not 100%, but for majority of the time, bro, I gotta admit, like, sometimes the mom and the daughter go hand in hand. In my experience, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
Right. How was her relationship with her dad? Right.
If she has one.
Did she see a relationship with her mom and a man or her mom and her dad? Because if you've never seen a relationship, you don't know how to have one. These are all conversations that you need to have going into it, because I'm telling you, the more you look into the abyss, the more the abyss looks back into you. What does this mean? This means that whatever you see growing up, it becomes a part of you, whether you realize it or not, right? Whether you realize it or not. So it is very important that you find your person. You have a better chance if you have similar belief systems. If you see the world the same way, doesn't guarantee it. There are no guarantees. But if you meet somebody that is their belief system is totally the opposite of yours, that's going to be a problem, right? My wife and I, when we first got married, she was like, well, I don't take the tree down until whatever day. And I was like, what? And she was like, black eyed peas on New Year's because good luck. And I was like, we didn't do that, whatever. You know what I mean? But these were small items, right? We both were Christian. We both believed in, for the most part, we believed in similar views of child rearing. She doesn't really like to discipline. My parents were all about discipline. So we did disagree on that, but we found ways to work through that, right? But these are the conversations you got to have. Like, what's the holidays going to be? Because a lot of people just think, oh, in their mind, oh, you're just going to come to my house. But like, no, I want to see my family too. What if my family doesn't live in the same state as you?
Right.
These are
now
all
we got to have travel plans. It's like everything got to be discussed. Communication still rules the nation.
Right? Oh, well, we spend every holiday at my parents' house. Not anymore. Not anymore. We're gonna have to work this out. These are all things people need to consider, right? How do you vote? Because you have to have that discussion. It doesn't seem like
I've never had that discussion with anyone.
You have to have that discussion, right?
About who you're voting for?
Yes. Not about
because
I
can understand. I can understand.
Not about who. I'm saying like how do you vote? Because if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you view the world differently, right?
Right.
So,
of course.
And again, real quick lesson: Republicans believe in personal responsibility. Blah 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 blah. Republicans basically believe in big business, small government. Democrats believe in big government,
small business.
Okay, business, right? That's the major difference. Now, all this other stuff, I'm not talking politics. I'm not getting into it. I'm not. Please don't. That is just for it. But if you're talking about marrying someone, you need to have those discussions. Because what you don't want is you don't want it to come up, right?
Right.
After you're already with the person and you guys are diametrically opposed. It can cause issues, right? You need to know Falcons or Saints. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding. But the point is, there's certain discussions you need to have, right? I mean, I love my wife, and I probably would still love her if she were a Saints fan, but I probably would not be here on Sundays because it would go down. But look,
I don't see myself any way I could really, because I mean, going back to your points that you've made, I don't see myself really just somebody that's actively, always on the Saints. I feel like that would be tough to do. Because I dislike them so much.
Yeah,
it would almost be like politics, like Democrats and Republicans.
Let me ask you this:
I dislike them so much.
Let me ask you this.
Where I can't root for them at all. I'm never wearing your colors.
Don't
ever ask me to put on a Saints hat. It's like never going to happen. Like, so it's like.
I got to ask you this question, Chris. What if you get married and you have a son and your son grows up to play for the Saints?
It's like I'm gonna be rooting against the Saints. No, I'm just playing. I'm joking. I'm joking. Honestly, I'm gonna have to at least have some love for them. I'm still gonna dislike them to a degree, just because I've grew up like that. But if I have a son and he goes and play for the Saints, that will be the first and only time that I've ever put on a Saints jersey in my life.
I'm not putting on a jersey. I'm not, and it's funny.
I mean, if you got, first of all, if that thing say more on the back with my son's name and number, I'm throwing on the jersey.
That's I'm not putting on the jersey. I'm not. It's funny, right? It's funny the differences.
So how are you supporting them?
Well, here's the thing, right? My brother and I had this conversation, and my brother, my brother, Eric is hilarious. So because I asked him this, we had a probably 20-minute conversation about this, and I said, bro, if your son goes to the NFL and plays for the Saints, what would you do? You know what his response was?
Tell him to ask for a trade.
No, he was like, I would miss my son for those 6 months.
Dang, that is crazy work. Now, I'm sorry. I love my fandom. I am a Falcon fan through and through, but one thing I put over my fandom is family. Like
Hey, man.
I would have to. I wouldn't like. I ain't say I like it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to support my child. Like I don't care what team he go play for. It can be the Bucks. It can be the Panthers.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my principle is I'm going to support my son, and my son would be more important than my hatred for that team. That's just where I'm at with it.
I would support my son. I'm not wearing a jersey. Like I would go, and honestly, I would tell him I'm rooting for you, but I hope you guys lose when you play us. You can win any other game. But
I mean, my thing is, I'm gonna have the Saints jersey on, but I'm gonna have a Falcon hat on, Falcon shoes, you know, something like that, maybe. And maybe I don't put a jersey on. Maybe I got a shirt. If they got a shirt with more on the back, I can wear the shirt. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I just want something with that more on it,
bro.
And you know, I know it's representing my son.
I get it. I get it, and I respect it, but I will never put a Saints jersey on. I will not. I will not. I will not. I will not. I won't do it. I just can't. Now, I again, and my son knows this. So I said, look, man, if you ever play for the Saints, I love you. I love you more than anything in the world. But I will never, and you need to understand this, I will never root for you when you play us. I won't.
At all.
I will never wear that stinking jersey. And my wife got so mad with me.
And it's so crazy. As soon as they asked me in the interview, so yeah, what do you think about your son being on the Saints? Well, I appreciate the opportunity, you know, in the NFL. I want him to go out there and get after it. But I am not a Saints fan. I am my son's fan. I promise you, I will be out there saying that I don't care nothing about, you know, nothing. I'll care about the success of what my son does because I am not a Saints fan. I am a Falcon fan. While I have a Falcon hat on in the interview, so it just like, you know, it's just crazy. Shout out to King Richard too. He said I broke up with a woman because she was a Saints fan. I'm free, bro. I've stopped talking to a woman before because she was a Saints fan and she was like die hard. It wasn't like she was fair weather. Maybe I could have done it if she was fair weather, maybe. But at the end of the day, she was die hard and she was already talking smack in like the first couple of days. I couldn't do it.
My wife is the only woman that I would, because she's my wife, and I've loved her since the time I met her. But that would be very contentious on Sunday. Like it would get. Because
I'm not doing the house divided thing either. My house is Falcons.
It's gonna be divided. Let me tell you, because it's gonna be divided. I probably.
No, I'm saying, you know how they be having like the house divided stuff, and you know, so like the stuff, the merchandise you can buy, like it's half Saints, half Falcons stuff. I'm not doing none of that. My house is Falcons, and that's just all there is to it.
Well, it probably would be like me in my office, like this office right here, and her downstairs watching we wouldn't watch it together. I know. And if we won, I'm probably gonna talk shit to her after. Like I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?"
Bro,
I'm sorry.
Bro, that's why it wouldn't work because I'd be the pettiest joker ever.
Oh hell yeah!
We win the game. We win the game. She just gonna look at the stairs. She's gonna just see me just sliding down the stairs with a smile on my face, just sliding down.
Bro, I'd be accidentally bleaching her Saints black jersey. Yeah, just
you feel me? Like all kind of stuff is gonna be happening. Like I would
chaos. It would be tough, man. It would be tough. And only Kim. No other woman on earth would be worth that, but Kim is. But that would be tough, man. That would be tough. King Richie, I broke up with a woman because she was a Saints fan, and another one because I went to take her to a game and she said, "Why this Falcons gonna lose anyway?" Oh no, she didn't. No, she didn't. Well, you had to do what you had to do, King Richie. I'm not mad at it.
Hey, man, you gotta be a man of principles out here. You start talking noise about them Falcons, you got to go.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Lisa Shepard. I forget what Lisa Shepard and I were doing. We were somewhere, and somebody said something and it was sideways about the Falcons. Man, she cut her so quick, Chris. When I tell you, Lisa it was just, let me tell you something. Lisa is if you ever have any doubts, do not question her failure. Because my mouth dropped. I was like, what just happened? And she made us, and Lisa was like, no, don't do that. We're not doing that. We're never doing like it was so quick, right? It's like she had practiced it. Like, bro, Lisa's
Oh,
real.
Miss Lisa was waiting for the moment. Like,
Lisa,
hold on. Is Lisa Shepherd got a smack a bitch?
Hey, exactly. You get sideways with them Falcons with Lisa if you want to. You're gonna F around and find out. Carlos says Cam Newton did a show about Pitts. Gotta go check that out.
Yeah, I gotta check it out too. I gotta check it out too.
I gotta check it out.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I seen the thumbnail, right, King, Carlo, and I seen that it was like an hour and some change, and I said, I'm gonna have to get back with you, Cam. I'm busy right now. But I do plan to check it out because I've seen clips from it, but I do want to see it in its entirety to see what Kyle had to say, to see what Cam had to say. You know, Cam Newton really has no filter. He'll go out there and say whatever he feels. So I'm interested to see what was said in that interview. I'm see if I can. I'm definitely gonna check it out this week for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely. Lisa Shepherd says, "Good job, King Richie. You don't need that type of energy in your life."
Amen.
Says a friend of mine's son played for the Patriots. She went to Foxborough wearing her Falcons gear.
Darn right.
Carlos says, dating an Aints fan is low key. It makes good. Oh, it's low key.
Oh yeah.
For trash talking and best. I bet it does.
That's true. That's true. Again, you're gonna have that house divided for sure.
You're right about that. Carlos says fun. I guess that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
King Richie, Lisa Shepherd, I don't play about my Falcons at all. No, you don't. Deshaun Coswell says, in an interview, I'll say I love my son and the Aints suck. I love it. They suck. They do. They're awful. They're donkey hooters. They're terrible. They're swamp-inators. They suck. Deshaun Coswell, I was married to a Panthers fan. It was kicking her team, but every year. Now.
We're not gonna keep talking mess about my team, Deshaun. Your team need to win something because they suck. Get some.
Deshaun, was she complaining about that to her lawyers? And he's always talking about my Panthers. I love them. He's always talking. Was that it, Deshaun? Like, was that a part of that? I don't know. I'm making light of it. I promise.
Man, I can see Deshaun right now. Hey, baby, you know Falcons won. Yeet, get some.
Exactly. No. I can see him at the table with the attorneys. That's right. They do suck. Yeet, get some, because we're gonna beat their ass the next time we see them. And his attorney's like, Deshaun, no,
that's crazy.
No. That's crazy. All right, man. So look, bottom line, I don't have an issue with what Jayden's mom is doing. She clearly feels like she's protecting her son, and look, only she and he know why. I mean, I get it. I understand it. It is cumbersome. It is bothersome. It is intrusive. But it may just save him millions. And at the end of the day, Terry likes his money. I'm just saying.
That's what it's all about.
I like my Benjamin. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, I get it. Because look it. Bro, half these folks that you see together that's married now in the NFL, they're not going to be together in 10 years. And I'm not trying to be cynical, but it's just the truth. They're not. They're not going to be. Right? So,
yeah. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I believe that she is protecting her son. I'm not sure if it's her only son or not, but she's protecting her son. And at the end of the day, I feel like in a world where it's easy for one person to be with you one day and to be against you the next day, it's important to have as many relationships and as many people in your corner that support you. So like really support you and really care about you and what happens with you. I believe that's important in 2025. And his mom is just like, look, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. I'm going to be there for my son. You're going to see me. So I don't want you to get anything twisted. Yes, I am here and I will always be here. But I do believe eventually, and maybe, and for all we know, it could be something to where it's like, all right, Mom, when I'm ready, I'm going to say I'm ready. And then we're going to kind of like do something different.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. So, because building relationships with people, are still important. I believe it's important to do that. And we'll see what happens with him. So I don't think it's a wrong party in this. And I don't think, you can have your opinion. Oh, she needs to, give him some space. And you can have the opinion, no, she needs to be right where she is. I don't necessarily think it's a wrong answer. I just think it's an interesting conversation. and something just to kind of like, if you're out at a coffee shop, you can have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it could be a good one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it is a wrong answer because look, you know your kids, right? I have 3 kids. They're all different. They're all. If we have certain conversations, I have to talk with them differently, right? There's certain conversations I can have with Zach I can't have with Maya Mariah. You know, there's certain things I can say to him and roll off his back. You know, I can't say that to my daughter. There's certain conversations I can have with Mariah I better not dare have with Maya. So you get what I'm saying? You have to know your kids and look at sometimes you have to make decisions based on that. My father told me something that was wrong as all get out. And he used to say it. His mom had 10 kids and she raised them. And he was like, you treat everybody the same. No, you don't, because their personalities are different. You cannot treat I'm telling you, Chris, if you end up having more than one child, you can't treat them. Now, you can have the same rule. I'm not saying to favor one more than the other, but there are certain kids you got to talk to, certain kids you got to take action. Certain kids know what they're doing. They're not going to respond to you talking to them. You got to punish them in some way. Others, maybe you can have a conversation. Certain kids want to buck the system. Certain kids don't. You have to know your child. Look, kids come here with stuff in them. As parents, our job is to get the best out of them, right? The negative stuff, get rid of it, or at least find a way to deal with it and find a way to show them how to maximize their potential with what they have. That's our job. And to teach them, and I'm a Christian, so to teach them to be God-fearing and follow God and all of that. But again, kids come here differently. I got 3 kids with 3 distinctly distinctly different personalities. If you didn't know them, you wouldn't think they were raised in the same household. They're totally different. So what do I look like having the same conversation with Maya that I do Mariah? They're totally different. They are totally different. They couldn't be more different, right? So no, that's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is, in the case like where another son may get agitated, another son may feel like, oh, you're stepping on my toes. You know what I mean? Maybe she doesn't have to do that with somebody. Maybe she has to do this with Jayden. I don't know if he's been sheltered, but maybe she feels like this is my only way. And it may not be forever, Chris. It could be until he's 26, 27. You know what I mean? Until he's gotten a certain amount of savvy up under him. Until he's been in a life a couple of years, right? You get what I'm saying? But we don't know that. We don't know the dynamic. He could have been sheltered his entire life. Okay, you not let you do this. Not let your do me a favor. Don't let your son go on any dates, right? And then let him go to the league and meet these 30.
Good luck. Good luck. He gonna run into one of them old school Brittany Renners.
He might have 3 or 4 women pregnant.
Are you talking about Anthony Edwards?
I'm just, bro. All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is,
I'm just asking a question.
Back in the day, okay, T. Will loved him some women. Okay, yeah, talking about myself in third person. And if I had $50 million, I probably wouldn't even be alive with the stuff that young T. Will would have done.
Have mercy.
And I probably would.
So you gonna be T. Will to still?
Let me tell you something. I would have populated this earth. You hear me? I would have been fruitful and multiplied. I'd have been out here, bro. Young T. Will was wild, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know. Jayden could be wild. Jayden could be low key wilding. She could be doing it too early. Know what's gonna happen? We don't know, right? Is it overbearing? Absolutely. But let me ask you this: is 22 at age 22 now? Is that person the same as somebody who was 22?
Of course not.
They're not.
Mine way more polluted. It's too much that that they have going on. And you think about it right now, there are some parents out there right now, they're not raising their kids. The tablet is.
Thank you. And there's no discipline, right? That look, I've had certain conversations, with my wife about discipline, because I was like, you're not consistent. You discipline when you're mad. Like, you discipline when, like, you just Okay, on Monday you told them 3 times. On Tuesday you told them 4. On Wednesday you told them 7. So the child gets conditioned to not doing what you say, but doing just enough to not make you mad. Whereas if it's me, you get 2 times and then it's going down. Because clearly spoken word is not working for you. So we need to go to alternative means. You get what I'm saying? So I'm consistent. So they know, right? But my point is, and there is a point. My point is we don't know the dynamic that Jayden has. We don't know him. So she may very well know what she's doing and why she's doing it, and she could have a good reason to do it. Or she could be completely overprotective. We don't know. Good discussion.
It'll be both.
It could be both. It could be both.
Before we get ready to get up out of here, man, I do want to ask, what are your thoughts about the Hawks tonight versus the Orlando Magic? You know, so what are your chances as far as us winning tonight?
They're playing in Orlando, right?
Yes, we are in Orlando.
I don't like them.
You don't like it?
I don't like them because we don't. Number one, we don't play them well, or at least the last couple of times. And number two, we really don't play them well in Orlando, right? Now, with that being said, we'll probably win by 30. I'm kidding, but I mean, you never know. It's playoff. You're gonna get playoff Trey, and playoff Trey is a different kind of dude, man. What do you young folks say? He's different. That dude is different. So Trey come out here and get 45 and 20 assists, and we could be like, hey, Orlando, we'll see you. It was good knowing you. We're on our way to Boston.
Yeah, I think the Hawks have an opportunity tonight. One thing about it, Hawks got to play their game. They got to play with pace. They got to play. They got to get out in fast break, and they kind of got to make. They got to clog up the lane and make the Magic shoot more threes. The Magic are not a good 3-point shooting team, of course. Against the Hawks, they may turn into the Golden State Warriors of a few years ago. But at the same time, though, we just got to play up to our competition. We won on Sunday, but of course there were no starters for each team. And shout out to Keaton Wallace, who had a triple-double too, by the way, in that game. 15, 15, and 10, I think.
You think he plays in the playoffs?
Do I think he plays in the playoffs? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be like a 9 or 10-man rotation, honestly. I don't know if he makes the cut. I really don't. I think Vit Krejci would make the cut over him.
I think so, yeah. I think so, too.
So the Magic, they are a big physical team. We know that we're going to have to be physical with them as well. I would have loved to have Clint Capella just as another big man for this game. Not sure if he will be there because I think I said this weeks ago. I thought Clint played his last game as an Atlanta Hawk weeks ago. So we'll see about that. But yeah, they definitely got to play with pace because the Magic can't keep up with their pace. But yeah, that big front court, that big to big, they got Wendell Carter, Franz Wagner, and they also got Pablo Banchero. So those three right there are pretty much the offense. And that's where they're going to be trying to run their offense through. We got to get them in foul trouble. We got to play with pace. And, you know what I'm saying, we got to knock down our shots. I think Trey is going to be good because they don't have nobody that can stop him. Caldwell Pope, no. But, you know what I'm saying, I mean, that's another guy you got to watch out for, too, for the 3 ball. So, yeah, I think we have an opportunity to win this game. I mean, we've beaten the Magic in Orlando, you know what I'm saying, already this year. It's just – lately, I know when it got more closer down to the end of the regular season in crunch time, it seemed like we were kind of faltering, like maybe we had been figured out. I still believe that the Hawks can win this game tonight and see Boston in game 1 in Boston very soon. I really believe we can win this game tonight.
No, we will find out. Before we go, we got a riddle. So I'm going to read it to those of you in the chat. See if you can guess it. All right. My jersey tells you that I am complete. My sibling is named after a Roman emperor. I am a southpaw. I love Hokies. I love Spartans. Who am I? got Craig in the chat, by the way. Craig, step in here. Craig says Magic are big in physical front court.
Yeah.
Pam said, I would date a guy who hate on my Matty Ice. That's a deal breaker for me. Amen, Auntie Pam. I read again. My jersey tells you that I am complete. My sibling is named after a Roman emperor. I am a southpaw. I love Hokies. I love Spartans. Who am I?
Wow. Only thing I can think of. See, now that first part throws me off, but the only thing I can think of is Michael Vick.
You are 2 for 2, sir. Huh? Oh my God, you are 2 for 2.
Oh,
downtown. Chris,
I ain't gonna lie. The jersey, the first part of it confused the heck out of me.
All right, so my jersey tells you that I'm complete. 7 is the number of completion. My sibling is named after a Roman emperor. That is Marcus Aurelius.
Yes. Yeah, I had that. The southpaw was like, and then the Hoagies, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. There you go.
So like I was there. I was like, and that's why I was like, bro. I felt like I was like, bro, I don't know who the heck that's. I was like, I don't think I can think of it as Vic.
Chris, you killed it today, man. You killed it. You killed it, man.
Wow.
You killed it, Chris. You were awesome.
Beginner's luck, man. What can I say? Beginner's luck.
Man.
Oh, shout out to Craig. Craig got it too. He said Michael Vick.
He did.
And shout out to Craig as well.
He did. Craig in the biz. Craig is in the chat.
Hey man, you gotta watch out for Craig. Craig, you know what I'm saying? That's the same Craig that, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
I told T Will he keep that thing.
And Craig, I do keep that thing, although I can't find it now. Damn it.
Hey man, appreciate it, Deshaun. Hey man, beginner's luck, man. That's all I can say because that first one I think was more beginner's luck than the Michael Vick thing because I was the only thing I could think about is that, but that rumors. That's the only thing. It was so crazy. My mind was like rumors.
I think you're just a smart guy,
and you know how you fight with your mind. You're like, no, it's not. Yeah. So you gonna say that and sound like an idiot.
I think you're just a smart guy, man. Hey, tell these folks where they can find you, bro.
Hey, man, make sure you catch me on A1 Forever Sports, man. Steady, always trying to grow this channel, man. Working my way to 4,400 on our A1 Forever Sports. So please come over, like, comment, subscribe. Plenty of shorts, plenty of videos like this, lives, everything like that. It's so much different content you can find on A1 Forever Sports. So just please come on over and be a part of the A1 family if you're not already a part of it. And also catch me on the Hawks Digest as well. It is play-in time. I know me and Walter Pollard, we're dropping content over there as well. Growing that channel. I know Walter has been taking care of business over there for the past couple of days. But your boy is going to be back on tonight talking Atlanta Hawks basketball, hopefully in a win. And hopefully, you know, talking about how we're going to be gearing up for these Boston Celtics. Also, Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok. Again, that's the real A1 Forever on TikTok, man. You know what I'm saying? T Will's always great doing shows with you. You know what I'm saying? As always. And hey, we wouldn't be here without you guys. And first and last, but certainly not least, we wouldn't be able to do any of these things without God himself. So
amen. You said it all. Look, everyone in the chat, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to do it without you. That's what we do. That's what we do it with. You could have been anywhere in the world, chose to be with us. Thank you. I definitely want to thank God. Thank you, Jesus, waking me up, allowing me to do this every day. I appreciate it, and I'm not worthy. I thank you. Last but not least, amen. I'm thinking about my mama today. Mom, I love you. I appreciate you. I miss you every day. I'm trying to keep my promise to you to be the best that I could be, and I just want you to know, Mama, I love you. Last but not least, shout out to Mr. Eric Parker and Jack Spade for giving my shot in this business. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you, everybody, and see you when we see you. Goodbye.
Peace.